Good evening and welcome back to the Dwarven Fortress of Keskalokil, where we have last session we penetrated the caverns pretty much by accident. I was just trying to dig a drain that I could use to channel water to my pump stack.
Found the caverns of Helm's Deep.
Yes.
Whoops. Did you also find the lava?
No. And I fairly rapidly walled off the caverns, set up a bunch of grates so that I can still pour water into them, and have arranged that the drains now drain into the caverns. So there's lots of mist in the caverns, and if you go down and down and down and down and down and down and down, you can see like this cloud of mist in the middle of the screen. Well, not quite the middle. No, it's in the middle. And eventually you reach, well, a horizontal surface which is now has water on it. And it's then the water's then running off that sideways, and down here we have what looks like it may actually be the bottom of the cavern, in that we've got like a muddy floor with actually 2 units of water on it. But we are like 74 Z levels down now, and the lowest bit of my drains is about 15. So we've got to fill 60 Z levels before we run out of space to put this water in, even if the caverns don't drain to anywhere. And they probably drain off the map somewhere. So I think this is a perfectly sensible place to dump all our water. Nothing bad ever comes of just hurling all of your rubbish down the nearest deep hole. Steph asks, how much water do you generate per year? I don't know. We'll find out. The sea is quite capable of absorbing it. So, yes, what we had done was to cut. I mean, to be fair, we are trying to filter out all the actual solid waste from this. All being well, we are just dumping water and blood and such like down there. So our first aim here was to drain this section here, which an unfortunate baby had fallen into. There is, I think, still a baby's corpse up there, which might eventually get swept all the way down here. Alternatively, if we can drain this enough, maybe we can actually just send dwarves into this channel to collect things from it. What I think I should do actually is there's a floodgate somewhere here whose purpose was to allow water to come from this end to the pumps, but I think if I close that floodgate, that will then mean that the pumps are just draining from this direction, and this section therefore can drain all of its water out. This section won't necessarily do that because it's in aquifer, and so we probably want to do something to isolate that later. But I think we should pull that lever there to avoid the situation where this side drains into this side. Not that I think it will very much, because I think the pumps will keep up for now. I don't know what can swim in this game, whether Balrogs can swim in particular. So meanwhile, last session we also set up the swimming training facility, where we can see here a couple of dwarves going back and forth in minecarts in the water, which should be teaching them how to swim. And there are quite a lot of minecarts now, and mostly people aren't getting hurt by them. There does seem to be something interesting that happens when they arrive, mind. So here's an incoming minecart. I'm going to single step this. So this dwarf is riding a minecart through a pool of turnip wine. And then it's about to crash into a wall. And I think there's a thing that happens for one frame, yes. Our Bone Doctor is now marked as prone. So they've just fallen over when their minecart collided with the wall, which I suppose might be unsurprising. Doesn't seem to cause them any injury. So I think they just fall over and have to stand up again. And now they're standing up again. So it's like 3 frames of being fallen over. And like you'll notice that for most part, people don't actually step on the tracks while carrying minecarts over to the start again, for the most part, which helps with not getting run down by minecarts. So yes, that seems to be working reasonably well now. Oh dear, we have a miasma problem in the workshops. It's probably something rotting in the butcher's shop. It usually is. I think we're still a bit short on storage space for meat. Oh, there doesn't seem to be anything rotting in there. Maybe I've already thrown it away. Because there's nothing else in here that should have anything rotting in it. Got quite a lot of spare siltstone blocks, so we can probably build a bit more of this track. Doing our usual thing where I lay the track and then cancel the 2 ends of it so that it actually connects up properly with all the other tracks. That's a cat, not a minecart. Yes. Created a masterpiece sea otter leather dress. We don't slaughter otters, we just import their skins from other people. Right, so... Oh dear, there's still some rotting going on down here. What's going on? Yes. I think it's just coming up from the... yes, there's a rotten corpse in there along with 2 skeletons because of the slight tendency of this part of the drainage system to accumulate dead babies. Right, so now we have a floodgate here, which means that this right-hand half can just drain eventually. Might take a while though. Like really, I was going to say we could drain into the existing drain down here, but really that's a silly thing to do. We should just drain into the caverns, because the top of the caverns, as far as we can tell, is all the way up here. And there's a kaolinite cluster there. So we could just drain like 1Z level down. And that will put us, and then have a floor grate that lets the water into the caverns. So if we, let's see, where do we want to be? We want to be probably want to be at the more or less the western edge of the caverns for this. That's not quite the western edge, is it? Wouldn't it be easier, Ben, to come from that like convenient mine working down there, which we probably want to extend anyway? Yes, that would be much more sensible. How about we just say, let's mine some of these convenient minerals here. And like that'll probably get us to somewhere above the cavern. Then we can well, we might be able to clear all the rock out of this mine working and turn it into a drain instead. Do we need to unlock that floor hatch? Yes. Let people into the mine. Seems like a fairly safe mine at the moment. So now we can see that the... I was going to say we can see that the water level's rising here at the moment because there's no longer drainage to the west, but eventually it should start to drop again as more water pours down there. So while we're hopeful that that dead baby will eventually emerge, looks like it might take a while. So maybe I should temporarily close that grate in order that we can retrieve the first batch of rubbish from it. So that's drain interconnection east, isn't it? I'm not very good at naming things. Someone has become a hammer lord with all their sparring though, that's probably good. Still only novice. We want adequate swimmers. Everyone should be an adequate swimmer. Oh dear, someone has got run down by a minecart, it looks like. But usually I should get a... Oh yes, I was going to do some... I should do several useful things, shouldn't I? I was going to add some more beds to the hospital because last time we had a particularly messy encounter with goblins, or possibly it was with minecarts, I can't remember. We needed more, well, we needed all of the 4 beds that were in the hospital, and so it seems like a good occasion to, seems like it would probably be good to have more of them. Conveniently, someone's been making lots of beds. So if we stick another 4 beds in there, that seems like a plan. And then a table in between them for operating on. And that will make the hospital a bit more efficient. Now I'm going to see if that puddle of blood corresponds with someone who actually needs to be healed. Doesn't look like it. Is it worth adding more minecarts to this system?
If in doubt.
All right, there we go. There's a message.
The potter is fighting a minecart.
Well, it's a kind of fighting. Has had their cheek severely injured by the minecart. And the muscles of their something lower body bruised. Might not be enough to...
The potter is also wearing octopus leather trousers, which sound awkward because wouldn't the extra legs kind of flap around?
I don't know.
They're very stylish.
They are very stylish and fashion conscious.
Natural stripes.
Possibly, no, there's definitely something rotting over here. Oh, there's something rotting. A rotten prepared donkey heart. Let's not slaughter any more things for a bit because we do seem to have a slight surplus of meat. Tea. Let's check that nothing is currently marked for slaughter. Looks like not. I have marked a lot of things as available to be pets on the grounds that people will probably be happier if they have puppies. So, let's go back down. Oh yes, on the subject of beds, we have 196 population. The baby killing drains are at least gradually reducing the population of the fortress.
Yeah, but doesn't this leave like everyone really depressed?
It probably only leaves their parents depressed. But like we are stopping them killing babies. I think most babies that fall into the drains will now survive, and like we are continuing to try to get more water out. There's a gem cluster there that we probably want to mine. Okay, we've reached the end of that tetrahedrite vein. We also have this crossing limonite vein, which looks like it's also not quite going to go in the right direction to end up directly over the caverns. Oh, now it's turned back into tetrahedrite again.
I'm sure that's a pyramid scheme.
First we'll clear out this blue jade cluster. Yes, I switched us from making figurines to making earrings and bracelets last time because it seemed that we could probably absorb more of them and attaching them to dwarves who would then be cheered up by wearing nice jewellery. Indeed, we might find. Have you got any yet? No. Looks like our miners don't go in for jewellery very much. Well, that's heading in the direction of the caverns, kind of. Hello, Claire. All right, that's small children coming down to collect the spare gems. That's fine. I should not go clearing. There seem to be too many messages there. Well, let's throw those messages away and see how many of them come back. Oh, a giant has turned up. Right. They turned up from the usual place that single creatures turn up, yes. Do you think it's hostile? I think we should get the troops out onto the surface just in case. If nothing else, they'll probably have to find their clothes. Most of them don't appear to have their official military trousers on at the moment. Right, you appear to be wearing a shield and a spear and a mail shirt and some boots and some gauntlets and a helm, but you haven't got any trousers on.
This is net hack.
Yes, well, to an extent it is, in that that set of armour is sufficient to cover your whole body. It's not necessarily decent, but which can be a problem because dwarves do like to be adequately dressed. Where's the giant got to? I've lost the giant.
Right, I mean, in net hack, the deal is that characters don't wear trousers and just don't care.
Yes. Right, we have one Spearmaster. Well, that's a good start. Combat skills, legendary spear dwarf. Novice swimmer, sadly, but that's okay. We're not encountering this giant on the next near the river. So he has bronze spear, bronze boots, iron mail shirt, steel helm, gauntlets, no trousers. Does he have bad thoughts about this? Does she rather have bad thoughts about the lack of trousers? No. You can't be accosted by oysters. She was distressed after being accosted by oysters. She was annoyed after having to drink without using a goblet, cup or mug. I'm sure we've got enough of them by now. Content after putting on a well-crafted item. Felt pleasure after putting on an exceptional item. She doesn't currently have any exceptional items. But let's see. Oh, we've got another military dwarf coming to join her, and another one. Excellent. No, they just disappeared inside instead. Or one of them did.
Yeah, I think I probably have to draw attention to the non-dwarf related question there.
Could do. Yes, I think I might be in the mood for that. Right, where's the giant got to? I've lost it again. Oh right, I think it may be terrified. All right, the giant is overcome by terror. Right. Well, I recommend you leave then.
What terrified the giant?
I think seeing my dwarves without their trousers.
Donald with the wings and cruises.
Weaponized indecency.
Or something, I don't know.
Doesn't know how to get off the edge of the map.
I think that may be a problem, yes.
The Potter stands up, no longer stunned, and then gets hit by a minecart again.
Yes, I think the giant may not be allowed to leave the map. Which is kind of unfortunate for the poor thing. So it's now gathered up its courage. Yes, 130 is normal. And is stomping back up towards the fortress, where there is now an enormous crowd of military dwarves looking fierce, possibly some of them wearing trousers. Not that one. Someone must have some trousers on. Yes. Donkey leather trousers. The dwarves have spotted the giant. Charge! Doesn't take much to kill a giant here. So yes, giant turns up, immediately gets beaten up with by several dwarves with hammers, which for something that has a skeleton is an excellent way to cause it to be unable to do very much. Right, well, yes, that was pretty rapidly fatal for the giant. I don't think anyone else even got hurt. So I suppose I can now cancel that order and say, sorry, giant. I don't recommend visiting my fortress if you're a giant. Now I think everyone has decided to change their armour, even though none of their armour was noticeably involved in that. Also, there's a goblin's hand. Let's dispose of that while we're here. I thought I dealt with those messages. Also, what's that? It's a buzzard skeleton. Well, we don't really need a buzzard skeleton lying around. So actually, I kind of feel that we should... let's undump that. We should, like, be able to process that into... bones, which we can then carve into trinkets. Oops, no, that wasn't the button I meant. Settings. No, it's not there. Labours. Well, not quite labours, standing orders. Oh, I have to close that first. Right, yes. It is set to gather outdoor refuse, but we don't have anywhere to put it. And I think it needs to be quite close to the... And what happens if I just add a new butcher and animal task? Will that then get immediately cancelled on the grounds that there are no animals to butcher? Looks like it, yes. Because I don't think it's nearby enough. So what if we just create a small stockpile there for... is it a corpses stockpile I want, or is it a refuse stockpile that contains corpses? I don't know. I think I want that one. Let's see what that does. Right, yes, there is now a task for that buzzard skeleton. Obviously, we can't turn a giant into bones because dwarves don't like making crafts out of sentient creatures. What's going on here? There's still a spare shoe there. Someone should remove that shoe. Right, let's build a bit more track. We've probably made a few more blocks by now. Yes. Probably got enough to go a bit further. Not quite that far though. Actually, we can cancel that one, of course. This is unnecessarily fiddly, because if I were like to wait a few moments, we'd probably make some more blocks. Especially since I can't quite get to the point I want to reach there. Still, my military is clearly highly effective at dealing with giants, even if they still mostly can't swim. So let's go back down to that the drainage system and see what's going on down here. Oh yes, I pulled that lever, which has now shut that off, which means that I can now unlock that, and then all of the objects in there, or at least all the interesting objects in there. Oh dear, a cow starved to death. Well, we might actually be able to be organised to process its corpse into something useful.
Does this game model the idea that if a cow starves to death, then there might be less good eating on it than there would otherwise be?
I think so, yes. Oh, that's nice. Where have we struck green jade then? Okay, yes, but this area of mining is still extending. Actually, of course, now there's nothing to drain this area and it's starting to fill up. Let's open that floodgate again. For safety's sake. Especially since lots of people are coming down here now. I'm slightly worried that the process of extracting the dead baby from the bathwater will lead to more dead babies in the bathwater.
Is throwing the baby out of the bathwater okay if it's dead?
I think it's still, you know,
It's
a
less bad.
nice idea.
Like want to do some funeral stuff.
Yeah.
Yes, we're trying here to extract the dead baby from the bathwater so as to provide it with a proper funeral. That's why we have this filter. We pass pass all the water through this floor grate in order to extract the baby from the bathwater.
Somewhere you've got a dwarf who's just really bad at baptisms.
It's possible, yes. I don't think that's what's happening. I think what's happening is that the baby crawls down into the drainage system, and then because there's water leaking through the ceiling, it pools on the side of the drain, and then even that fairly small amount of water running off the thing is enough to cause the baby to fall in the water, which is kind of weird. Right, our ability to butcher random animals we found lying around seems to be working properly, which I quite like. Even if people do keep turning up with new bits of giant cardinal. Ooh, beak. Wonder what kind of part of an animal a beak is. As in, can we turn that beak into something useful? Or at least some things you can make out of a beak, apparently.
I feel as if a beak is already by its nature a menacing spike.
Yes, but apparently you can make the neck and neck bowl of an ozor, or the bow of a stesok out of it, or the bells of a bisek, which is like you make bells out of beak.
I'll tell you what was a menacing spike. On the Brookside path on the way to the office earlier this week, I walked past a heron that let me get within like 1.5 meters before flying away. Those things have menacing spikes on the front of their faces.
Nekor, yes, nekor. So it's the same things you can make out of bone, which appear to be not the things you can make out of horn. So I think the beak qualifies as bone and not horn for our purposes. Possibly. We don't seem to be making any clothes. Let's make some more clothes. Because apparently we still don't have an enormous stock of new clothes based on the state of these stockpiles. I don't know if we've actually got any yarn thread at the moment. Let's just make all the socks out of every possible material. I don't think you can make leather socks. I don't think those would work very well. Right. We don't need a feather. Feather is useless. Dear, yeah, we're still not consuming food fast enough. But we can at least turn bones into bracelets quite rapidly. Right, that's another section of track built. Oh no, I was going to say that things are starting to grow underground. No, that's a pile of vomit. It's not actually a plant. There does appear to be a kitten in the drain. And a stray cat as well. So I think we do still have problems. We've got all of the corpses out of the drain, out of the water now. So I think I'm going to re-forbid that and open the drain interlink again. In order to save the kitten because there's not much else to be. There's like some clothes down there that we'd like to get back eventually, and some stone, but that's really not very valuable. Like we've got the dead babies. Well, 3 of the dead babies. That one is still in the wrong place. We may need to add extra drainage systems to get that dead baby out. But like, I would also quite like, I don't know if the kitten's actually going to drown. It looks quite happy at the moment. But it is definitely underwater. There are now 3 kittens in the water there. Oh. And one of them is drowning. The text colours here are terrible, but I think that does indeed say kitten. That's a drowning kitten and not a drowning baby. Though possibly it just leapt out of the water in some way. So all being well, someone will go and pull that lever. Right, now they've pulled the lever and this is draining again. Possibly we should actually have several ways of draining this section, especially given we're going to want to get that dead baby out from there in due course. So yes, let's arrange another drain that essentially does the same thing from up here for now. While we're here, let's look at this. So that's now all. I say we do it. Yes, no, we should do it from there because we've got most of the infrastructure for that built already. All we need is like a mechanism to connect up to there. And like for some reason I dug that one from below and not at all from above, which is like, what are you on, Harris? You've even got a floor here. We could just go over here and build a downward staircase.
Downward dog.
Let's do that actually.
Stairway to hell.
Oops, yes. So that will at least get us some of the staircase, but not actually enough to use it. So similarly here, if we construct a bridge across this drain, then we could see if we're going to do what we did there, we want to, we ideally want to go downwards from here, but that I think is actually, that's not impossible. It is slightly fiddly. Yes, I think we have to go down somewhere slightly different. You have to go down somewhere on to the side of that. So let's actually, we may as well thus do it. How would we do it from the right? That would not be too hard, would it? We'd tunnel 1 square into there. No, we don't do it there. Let's tunnel 1 square sideways there, and then a downward stairway to. That's actually too far in, isn't it? That's not right. I mean, it doesn't matter very much, but like, let's try to make this efficient. We make a downward stairway there to there. We then go, if we're constructing something like this, we then have a door there. and then the actual drain there. So that ends up being that. And then we dig that staircase further down all the way to where we want to connect it to something else. And then if we do that, then that square there is directly below that one. And then we can fill in the gaps in a bit. Oh, we're going to need some way to get across there, aren't we? So someone is apparently trying to get across there by jumping. No, just by walking, because the water's not actually very deep. Okay, yes, that's fine. And then they're going to build the upward dig the upward staircase from below. While we're here, let's cancel odd bits of digging that we don't actually want done anymore. So yes, I think many of the babies are now suitably recovered and are probably up here somewhere. Yes, there's one, for instance, I think. Oh yes, I was still trying to tidy up. Why is there a corpse there? What can we do about it? That coffin has already been removed. We've removed those coffins. Let's install them somewhere else. And doors for those niches as well. Surely there should be somewhere that person is meant to be being buried. Yes, I demolished their old coffin, but still. Oh dear. You're not very well. Oh well. We have a very good hospital. Just realised I don't actually know what order the Dwarven alphabet sorts in. Where does os come? As in a ring. Doesn't look like it's at the top or at the bottom, which is slightly to my surprise. Either that or he's already dead. Oh dear, yes. Someone's actually been killed by the minecart system. That's a bit unfortunate. Now, there's now a jurisdictional question. Is it a railway or a ship?
Well, I assumed there would be a dedicated minecart accident investigation branch for this fortress.
Sadly, any witnesses won't tell me what happened. Okay, the mayor is possessed.
Does that make produce ridiculous edicts?
I think it means that they're going to have that they're having a strange mood.
Ah.
Right. This is all a bit damp, isn't it? Yes. But it's still fine for us to keep digging staircases through it. Given that that's damp, we should smooth it, which I think will make it less likely to leak. I don't think either of those rocks can leak, but let's smooth anything that we find damp. No, I don't. I'm confident that gypsum can't leak water. Once we've finished that staircase, come on, someone, come and finish my staircase for me. We can then do the corresponding digging. Right now, about connecting this up to connecting something up to there. Right, we can totally now just dig. That's the top left corner of the caverns, right? So we could dig vertically downwards and find ourselves a suitable cavern connection. I wonder if what we want to do is to repurpose a bit of this tunnel into being drained to save on the digging. Because then we could let's try to clear some of the rock out of it by the usual approach. So we make that kind of stockpile there and then make another stockpile nearby that takes from that first stockpile. And then that way we can remove that will then remove all of the cruft from that one, with the idea then being that I can wall that off. And then flood it. And then use that to carry water away. So to get ourselves access to that, we can dig southwards from there to like there. Right, that staircase is now built all the way. So we can now cut through to where the actual drain will be. And also start, make sure that it's marked for smoothing. May as well smooth both sides. Like the vertical drain probably doesn't need to be smoothed. Did someone just cancel that digging? Dangerous terrain, that's a bit worrying. Have you fallen in the water? No, it doesn't look like it. Where have we located more damp stone? All right, yes. That one was actually already marked. Let's just tag the things that look like they might be supporting aquifers for smoothing. Which will probably lead to a vast number of dwarves coming down here and getting themselves in trouble. Bit suspicious of the fact that someone was possessed but doesn't seem to be doing anything about it. Maybe they were possessed by someone we've now buried. It was the mayor, wasn't it? Yeah, the mayor is actually having a strange mood. Right, let's just check what he's up to, or she's up to. He's up to.
Unknown forces and in strange mood.
I think that is the strange mood is being possessed by unknown forces.
Okay.
Lost them now. Okay, all right, they are lugging something very big and very heavy. They've decided that their thing they're making is going to require limonite. You will observe that the mayor is currently wearing 3 crowns.
Because you had a surplus of crowns?
He's wearing a cowbone crown, a yakbone crown, and a nautilus shell crown. Cave spider silk trousers, cave spider silk hood, a donkey leather cloak, some mountain goat leather shoes, troll fur socks, elk bird leather mitten, a honeybee wax bracelet,
Temporarily.
and is also, I think, carrying a. Decided you need another piece of limonite. Only the one head, but that dwarves can apparently wear multiple crowns on the same head. Right, we've made another 10 rock blocks. Let's lay them. Let's use them for laying some track. Okay, we've actually got about 30 blocks in stock. So that means I think we can basically do that. Only we don't want to do that. We want to do that. And then cancel the two ends. Don't cancel that one actually. Let's go round the corner. So that's 12, 13, 14 more. Means we can get about that much back. Let's actually count it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 14. Actually, it was 16, but whatever. Close enough. And then cancel that one. That will lead to a huge load of dwarves lugging blocks over there to build more track again. Oh dear, we do seem to have a bit of a problem here. A minecart has ended up stuck on the track. What this means is that...
Less of a problem than minecart killing people.
Yeah, but the problem is that what that means is that when someone tries to ride a minecart, they get on a minecart, set off, it has a perfectly elastic collision with the minecart that's already on the track. Their minecart stops 1 square into the track and they climb off and get out again. And meanwhile, empty minecarts are happily, as you can see here, trundling through the system. So this is not actually a helpful situation, but it's too wet for anyone to be comfortable going in there to retrieve the lost minecart. So like they'll come out again if they have to. They'll like try to swim out again. Right, looks like we've now cleared out that section of cavern of mine workings that I'm planning to recycle as drains. So we can delete the stockpiles I used for that. And then build a wall across them at this end. Hopefully the kitten will leave before we actually build the wall. So then we want to make sure that we've got some of the trenching connecting up to it. So then how do we do, where actually are the caverns below here? Is that the right place to have built that? It's not bad. Though admittedly, if I'd gone a bit further south, I would actually have ended up over the caverns. Right, okay, I was actually an idiot. Let's temporarily suspend construction of one of those. Demolish those walls. And we'll move them. That means we're going to need to clear out more. Let's just be slightly embarrassed that I have to now redo this stockpile faff. remove some more rocks from the end of that corridor, though those can only be removed once those walls have been removed, and then we can like just punch a hole through the floor to get down into that bit of cavern. We have to punch a hole 2 layers through the floor, but that won't take long. Right. So, slight faffage, but it will be done shortly. Right, meanwhile, we're trying to drain from here. Doesn't seem to be any smoothing going on. Why is no one smoothing a thing?
Everything is adequately smooth.
No, it isn't. Right, that's sandstone. That's probably leaking water. Smooth. You can't actually see when things are designated for smoothing, which is kind of awkward. I mean, I don't think that area is very much not inaccessible. It's all connected up to this lot. There's even a staircase down to it from somewhere up there. I don't really understand why there is so little smoothing going on. If we can do that, it will help with the water leaks. Right, so now we have a connection there, which is where the water will flow into this section. Wonder if we should build a floodgate in it. I think on general principles we should construct a floodgate. Like where there's an obvious place where you might want to shut the water off, put a floodgate there. I don't think the dwarves have smooth jazz, you know. Oh, they believe in metal as well. Yes. In case you're not aware, Hagane is the Japanese for steel, which is obviously dwarf appropriate. Right, now we need to set up a lever to operate that floodgate. Yes, of course I've watched Technology Connections with the subtitles on because I naturally have subtitles on YouTube for watching all the things that aren't in a language I speak. The fortress attracted no migrants this season, in part because we're pretty close to the population cap, and in part because we keep drowning them. So we're going to want a door there, aren't we? Let's install that. Going to want to make some more doors. Have you got into a fight with a minecart? You have. I mean, okay, it's slightly grazed your toe, which is like rather better than poor Misha Connell and getting killed by it. Right, so that's all the ore cleared out from there. Those two pieces of rock. Oh, actually, we don't need them anymore if we're just going to use the whole thing. So let's get them moved as well. We should be able to do that fairly easily. We can just say, this one, repaint this stockpile out to there, please. Is that you're fighting as in you stood up? Oh, loses hold of the wall. What's going on? Right, there are lots of people in the water. I mean, it's not deep enough to cause them any harm. The minecarts might cause them harm. That minecart is out of place now. Are we going to get to see the Newton's cradle effect? So that's a maple minecart incoming and a sandpearwood minecart stationary. Ponk. And now the sandpearwood minecart is moving and the maple minecart is stationary. And up there we have... So now this maple minecart will start moving again. This is very silly. And there's an argument I should either shut the system down or drain the water out of it so we can fix it. But let's save that for once we've managed to finish building this track. Have we made enough blocks for me to finish it yet? Apparently so. Well, in that case, let's start the pump to drain the swimming pool again. Because that way we can then... So it looks like we do have a bit of a problem that occasionally it's possible for the minecarts to get in a tangle. And then we end up with empty minecarts running back and forth and lost dwarves trying to get out of the water. And occasionally getting run down by minecarts. I think there's an argument I should have an escape staircase that doesn't involve coming back up the minecart ramp, isn't there? I wonder if I can just say, build me some stairs there to there. Oh, it's too wet at the moment. Right, that can be another job for once we've got the water out. Here comes someone who I think is going to operate the pumps for me. Right, so we're now draining the water from the minecart system. As you can see, the water level is dropping. And we've now finished constructing the tracks for the next section of the minecart run. Right, let's nip back down to the depths and see what's going on there. So that lever now wants to be connected up to that floodgate. Well, I think we're running short of mechanisms, so let's ask for 10 more rock mechanisms, please. And also, I think we're a bit short of floodgates and doors as well. There we go. Right, so we now have a door there. Still no one's smoothing anything. I don't understand. Oh well. So here we want to put in a floor hatch, don't we? Yes. And then here we want a grate, but we're going to need to dig down here first. And indeed, more generally, we may as well clear out this column. Right, so we've got the water level in this section down to 2 or 3 now, which is nice. We can remove, well, let's remove that stockpile for now, because I don't think we're going to want that anymore. Everyone's getting, the minecart system is currently proving a bit injurious to people. Maybe I should shut it off for safety, which is an annoyingly complicated procedure. Actually, the simplest way would simply be to remove all the minecarts from it, except do I have that option? If I choose minecart and just remove it, does that do it? No. Oh, we can select none though. So if we set them all to have no minecart, that's slightly awkward in that it means that the minecarts all get left wherever they are, rather than carefully stacked up at the start. I think there is a slight problem for the dwarves that the pumps are sucking the water out, and thus they're all getting swept towards the exit corner. So that's linking up that floodgate. Now we need a way for the water to get out of this section. So I think we want to, let's make this fairly generous. If we go down 1 level there, then we can go down another level at the bottom of that. Actually, let's make it 3 squares so that then we can come back up again on the other side. Right, so we now have a clear vertical drop all the way down here. So now I want to put in a grate there, following our usual approach. And then a door next to that. Okay, we are actually out of doors. Oh well, we'll make some more of those. Right, good. My mare has finally got around to their mysterious construction. Somewhere. Oh no, there they are. Right, yes, the building has been claimed by the mayor, who keeps muttering Geshundgarak rather. They appear to be using some sheep wool cloth, some more sheep wool cloth, some limonite, some more limonite, some octopus leather, some elk leather, some conglomerate blocks, some 2-humped camel leather, and some more limonite. Right. We will find out what it means when it's finished. At some point that pigtail tunic will be removed from the new minecart track. Are we still linking that? Yes. Right, so we've now drained almost enough water that I actually want to shut off that floodgate again up here. But it is still deeper here than here, so it can still flow leftwards and may as well. So how are we doing at getting the water out of this section? It's getting there, but it is quite a slow process now. Might be just about... I mean, I suppose we could just knock this wall down and that water would then spread out and be very shallow. Okay, thank you, Steph. Steph says, I think Geshudngarak means something like fortress destroyer. Okay, well, we'll find out soon.
Do you want the mayor of your fortress making a fortress destroyer?
I'm not sure. So it looks like surely we can butcher a cow skeleton. Let's hit the butcher. Let's actually request a butcher an animal task and see if it ends up doing anything. It should be automatically butchering things. That looks like none of those skeletons is useful then. Either that or this stockpile is just slightly too far away. Which will be inconvenient. How about we enlarge this room a little bit to give myself somewhere to put a stockpile. And then we'll move the corpse stockpile up to there. So that's now down to 3 at the deepest. I think I'm waiting. Am I waiting for that to be? No, I was waiting for some digging to happen, and that's at least partly happened. Now I can go down here and dig deeper. So make a hole all the way through into the caverns. Try not to fall down it. Try not to accidentally get trapped on the wrong side of it. Because I've just realised that once there's a hole there, it might be quite difficult to get out. Maybe we should also arrange that there's a walkway around the side. Are you going off to fetch those siltstone blocks from right on the edge of the caverns? Brave. Where are you taking them? You are taking them all the way back up to the surface, you weird person. Oh, we should see what the mandates we've got are, shouldn't we? Because the king is apparently quite pissed off that he doesn't have an iron bed, tough, but also that we haven't made him any mail shirts, chains or querns recently. Right. Oh, I think I may have scheduled a mail shirt that we couldn't make because we didn't have enough metal for it. Yes.
Can you reason with the king in that situation?
It's fine, I'll just make it in iron instead of steel. I mean, I should start actually doing steel making, but faff.
Make mail shirts. We haven't got any metal. Make them anyway. Okay, you go on with the metal and...
Now, we've got metal, we just haven't got steel. was the other thing he wanted? Querns. We don't need any more querns. Right, one quern seems to be more than enough for this fortress. Right, so now we have an open hole into the caverns there. Let's quickly put a grate over it so that to minimise the amount of stuff that falls down there. As a result of penetrating a bit more of the caverns, we suddenly have an enormous list of other things that we are now able to see through that hole in the caverns. Well, that's nice. But we're still mostly leaving the caverns alone, other than to fill them by filling them with water. Right, Erdim Todisholid Mayor has created Geshudngarak, a jagged sheep wool cap. He offers it to the Treaty of Caves. I think it's a jagged cap made of sheep wool. This is a jagged sheep wool cap. All craftsmanship is of the highest quality. It is decorated with sheep wool and encircled with bands of octopus leather and elk leather. It is made from sheep wool cloth. The thread is red with red root dye. This object menaces with spikes of limonite, conglomerate and two-humped camel leather. On the item is an image of point-cut gems in sheep wool. On the item is an image of Vabok Laberjeld, the dwarf, and dwarves in limonite. Vabok Laberjeld is surrounded by the dwarves. The artwork relates to the ascension of the dwarf Vabok Laberjeld to the position of king of the orbs of yore in 1, as in the moment the universe was created. On the item is an image of cubic cubes in limonite. It does seem to like this, describing polyhedra as being their own shape.
I mean, it's better than not being their own shape. That would be confusing.
Yes, Claire, it does indeed have fake gems in wool. Steph says, I may have mistranslated. Perhaps it means fortress beetle. One moment. It should appear in this list with its name. Fortress beetles, apparently. So, yes, we have a hat named Fortress Beetles, which is a treasure of the Treaty of Caves. I think the mayor should be assigned. That should be assigned to the mayor as a symbol of their office. If I can remember how to do that. I did know how to do it before. Oh, you do it through this interface, don't you? Yes. So currently there's a since it was made by the mayor, the mayor also gets a sceptre, but I think it's highly appropriate that the mayor should get a hat.
The opposite to the Treaty of Caves. The Treaty of Caves turned around and opposite to his head.
Yes. I mean, the mayor is admittedly currently wearing 3 crowns, so maybe a hat as well is going to be a bit awkward, but...
Well, he should have thought of that before he made it.
I'm just seeing if I can locate Yes. So a jagged cap is a type of clothing that dwarves can't usually make. But the mayor, in his strange mood, was able to make this weird foreign kind of clothing. So is that lever now linked? Yes, so we can then pull that lever in order to open that floodgate. Though actually possibly we don't want to, because we have other perfectly good ways of getting in and out of there. Let's not pull that lever for now, because then we can safely actually mine a channel there. Since that floodgate is present and closed, that channel will just end up connecting up this tiny section. Right, here comes the first of the grates in order to stop things escaping from that section of the mine. Mine caverns. Pinkbee says maybe they're all tiny hats like some goths wear. Well, what's her face? Sayaka in Hagane wears two little conical things. I think there's some kind of traditional Japanese thing. So like 3 crowns is only slightly weirder than that. Thank you. We have a masterpiece microcline floodgate. Is the king the king is a little less grumpy about the situation with his mandates now that the mail shirts have actually been made. Right. So we now have that bit of disused mine working connected up to the caverns. So I think we can now finish building that wall. We've connected that channel up. Meanwhile, what the hell's going on over here? Have we actually sorted this out yet? We need to add another. So we've got that in place. We've got a grate in place below it. Someone's actually done some of the smoothing. Not all of it, because I think the hole in the floor makes it kind of difficult. But that will probably at least reduce the amount of leakage. So I think we need to connect a lever up to that hatch, which means we need a new lever. Which means that we're going to need to sort out making some more mechanisms, which is scheduled. Right, meanwhile, we've got the water level in here quite low. I think it's now safe to remove that wall. Like, it'll spill out a bit, but not badly. Whose pigtail tunic is this? Is it owned by someone? Yes. They should put it in their bedroom. Maybe they haven't got a bedroom. We do have a slight bedroom shortage at the moment. We should probably dig out some more bedrooms. Or wall in some more bedrooms. It could go either way, really. Don't really want to dig them down into this layer, because then we're starting to get into aquifers. Though the northern ones of these would probably be okay, wouldn't they? Maybe. We've got leakage here, though. No, let's not do that. Let's not make the bedrooms any deeper. See if there's somewhere else we could safely go. Probably head, I mean, we could just make enough blocks to wall in this area. That would do fairly well, wouldn't it? Like there's something that's like half a bedroom, if only we could finish building the walls. Obviously it should be made mostly out of microcline. Oops, no, that wasn't what I meant. No, that wasn't what I meant at all. Let's try that again. No, I don't. Excuse me, I'm just getting into more of a mess. Right. Now, wall there, made from microcline blocks. Right, thank you. Right, and you can see we've knocked down that wall, but it hasn't actually caused immediate catastrophic flooding of the new area. Once that wall, it's causing slight slow flooding of the new area. Oh, we're going to need some more rollers, aren't we? That's going to need even more mechanisms. Oh dear, we've lost a kitten. Is there a dead kitten in the drains? Doesn't look like it.
Good night.
Night. And the stray cat has been missing as well. How odd. Why is this dwarf not being properly buried? Pretty sure there are enough I have this vague feeling that may have been mentioned as a bug somewhere. Pretty sure we've got enough spare coffins for them to be allocated one. Let's designate some more tombs simply to tidy things up. But like there are plenty of spare tombs awaiting death. We seem to have a slight epidemic of missing cats. Right, so it's quite hard to see where the tracks are underneath all this water. They're there. So I think we want to demolish the existing tracks. And then connect up the new ones. We should probably stop pumping soon. Let's wait for the water level to be properly low. Right, what's going on over here? That's walled in, there is no one in the way. So I think it's now safe to operate this lever and allow the drains to drain into that section. I'm slightly wondering if I want to cut things off so that I can build a few more floodgates while the water level's low. Finally starting to get the water level dropping here before I have managed to successfully start draining it out of this end. That's nice. What's happening to all my kittens? Where are all my kittens going? Are we accidentally flushing them all into the caverns? I don't think we can be, because like I've carefully put grates over all of the cavern accesses. Plus, we ought to get an enormous slew of messages if any kittens fall into the caverns, because they'll suddenly discover lots of exciting rocks down there. Right, so the water can now escape into there. Not that it's showing any immediate signs of actually entering the caverns by that route, but that's fine. It was an iron kitten. No, hang on. Right, we don't have enough mechanisms yet to link that because we haven't got enough people making mechanisms. So I'm just going to move this stockpile by painting it newly there. And then erasing the bit there. And see if that's close enough to the butcher's shop to get those skeletons properly processed. Right, we've demolished all of the old tracks there. So we have track running up to there, the square just to the left of the staircase. Then we have floor, 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 and then track again. So we need to lay 5 wide track and then remove the end ones. Four, 5. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Conveniently using all our available blocks, but then we're about to cancel quite a lot of that building because there already is some track there. We don't need more. But we had to include that in the building instructions in order to make it clear what we wanted by way of track. Oh, that's cat. Right. So that's enough track organised. I think we can stop pumping out the drains. The system now. You can go off and get yourself some dinner. Aha, we found the dead cats. Right, where were they? In the sea. Oh dear, right, I think the pumping had swept all these dead kittens out into the sea. That's slightly unfortunate. Well, we'll have to drain the sea eventually to get the corpses out of it. So, we're still waiting to have enough mechanisms to link this, aren't we? Yes. Which, once we can do that, we can then drain the remaining water out of the eastern end of that channel. Let's just mark that as a bedroom. So I think we want to build... Well, obviously the drainage of the sea is very partial drainage. Clothes are so popular. Oh, we've actually managed to run ourselves out of bill and bars. Also, we've made some masterpiece microclimb mechanisms. Right, we can now link that. We've got enough mechanisms. So that lever up there should be linked to that floor hatch. So that one is currently named Drain Interconnection East. So I suppose this one has to be named Drain Interconnection Further East. So what's going on with the billen situation then? Do we not have a smelt billen task permanently running? Have a make billen bars, which is only conditional on having fewer than 10 billen bars available. So why are jobs getting cancelled for less, and which is not currently active? So why are jobs getting cancelled for lack of billen? That's weird. Meanwhile, let's attempt to turn some of this area into more bedrooms. Oh, yes, maybe we're actually out of tetrahedrite, you're right, which is billen ore. I mean, I don't think so, because I just mined a bunch of it. Now we've got 164 tetrahedrite available. I shall explore this in a bit. So let's see if we can turn some of this area into more bedrooms. If we've got any spare blocks around. Why isn't there a staircase down into that room? Also, I wanted to put in a staircase here for escaping from the water purposes. There's the track that's been suspended then, eh? I hope that will become obvious when I'm looking around a bit more. Right, there's no longer rubbish on top of that. What on top of that? So I think that's the tracks reasonably well built. So now I need to construct more rollers. If we've got, we're going to need a lot of mechanisms, aren't we? I only asked to build 10 mechanisms. That isn't going to be enough for all the rollers I need. Let's make another 10 mechanisms before we've even finished the first batch. Why didn't you just add 10 mechanisms to the existing make rock mechanisms job? That would be much more sensible. There. Yes, we do have a bit of a problem that I ended up having to move something further east. Right, someone is still linking those up. So let's see, where are things going to happen here then? Still not finished. So that's one of the roller sets. So we know that distance is acceptable. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, as I calculated. I'm not sure it's correct, but it's good enough. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. So I think there, in the middle of nowhere, is where we want the next set of rollers to be. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 17, 18, 19. So, and then we can do the other one about there, which will leave enough space for it to be able to work around the end. So those skeletons have all been moved, and they're still not considered butcherable, I think. Let's just check by adding a butcher an animal task. If they're not, then I'll throw them all in the rubbish. Like, how is an entire cow skeleton not butcherable? I don't understand. So similarly, we want to mine down from the surface here and here. And then we're going to set up a windmill on top of each of those. We managed to link that lever up yet? Yes. Right, okay, let's work out whether we can drain that section then. So, yes, we now need to do that standard bit of hurried mining. So we want to check that it's safe to open that floor hatch. I'm pretty sure it is. So pull that lever. That's all forge bill and jug. So that's taking from bar/block stockpile 20. That is bar/block stockpile 20 then. There. Ah, right. Is it a rather small stockpile that turns out not to actually have any of our billen in it, because the billen is actually sitting over here in the smelter, because it won't fit in the yes, right, let's modify the configuration of that forge. Actually, we could just allow it to also take from, oh no, it can't directly take from the smelter, okay. I mean, it's not too bad if we just end up collecting things from the from elsewhere in the fortress. Like, I'm not quite sure why I set this stockpile to only take from that, this forge to only take from that stockpile. Was it some kind of, I wanted to only use, no, because I wouldn't care about what metals I use, in that I can set that in the properties, and by far the vast majority of our metal is going to come from down here somewhere anyway. I'm going to remove that, no, not that one. I'm going to remove, oh, because it has to come from the coal stockpile. But again, all of our coal is going to be down here anyway. Let's cancel both of those and see if it works all right. Or if it leads to dwarves trekking all over the fortress carrying bars of billen. Right, so that hole is now open, so that means that now we can dig through there. Oh no, we can't. Let's try to ensure that there's a door there, just to avoid dwarves embarrassing themselves really badly. By trying to collect rubbish while the water's pouring down there. I don't think that should be harmful, but it'll be better if they don't. So, wonder if we've got adequate bits for building rollers yet. Or we can construct some gear assemblies, if nothing else, can't we? Right, we only actually have one microcline mechanism in stock. We can only construct one gear assembly. So, meanwhile, I was trying to vaguely set up some bedrooms down here, wasn't I? Yes. What? Oh, right, I've accidentally isolated that bedroom from everything. That's going to be slightly embarrassing for the person whose bedroom it is. Let's just make a hole in the wall there. Yes, there's a bunch of bedrooms there that turn out to only be accessible from the floor below, which is kind of weird. That one's fine though, we can stick a bed in there. Yes, the children are often throwing tantrums. Right, now let's see if we can stick a door in that gap. And that then means we can put a bed in this new bedroom. That ultimately connects up to somewhere useful. You can fill in all those holes and mark that bedroom for smoothing. Does that staircase do anything helpful? No. That one, though, could actually form part of a bedroom, but I want to be a bit careful to not accidentally end up cutting off the workshops from everywhere. So maybe we don't try to put bedrooms in there. I mean, I think we're pretty close to the correct number of bedrooms anyway. So what's going on over here? I wanted a door there, which we now have, so we can now mark that door as forbidden to make sure that no one tries to retrieve anything from there, and then dig a hole there in order to let things drain. Right, someone is on their way down here in order to dig that out. So now we can build our windmill above there. We might be able to build a gear assembly for the next one. Yes. Slightly concerned by the message infant inaccessible. Let's just explore the obvious drowning areas. There isn't a baby in that cupboard. No, there's a skeleton there, which is excellent. Oh, puppies, better schedule them for gelding, or at least the male ones. The gelding process is still... Actually, we've dealt with all of the adult animals, so this should be reducing the birth rate a bit, we hope. I mean, I assume that last one attempt at that got cancelled, but I didn't... Yes, there it goes. Right, I hereby declare that nothing in that stockpile is butcherable. Probably they're so small they have no bones or something. I'm still confused by the cow skeleton being too small to be butcherable, but whatever. Right, more masterpiece mechanisms at least. Okay, we need to wait for someone to bring up some more rock to the rock stockpile. Possibly we should make that stockpile bigger and allocate more wheelbarrows to it. Right, and now we can build the second windmill. Or rather, the fourth windmill. These are the windmills for powering the 4 sets of rollers that will power the finished minecart system. So then we are really going to need to work out a way to extract minecarts from it when it breaks down. Like, the amount of time it takes to drain the water is inconvenient. Maybe I just need it to have better drains. So yes, this area is still draining, but like it seems to be quite happy. Here people are venturing into the drains just to haul random lumps of rock out of them, which seems brave. But on the other hand, we do seem to have quite effective drainage going on here, which is nice. Like, it's probably actually safe to start extracting things from these because there isn't much water falling down there. Let's unforbid that door again and just let people wander in and take things. I'm sure it'll be fine. What does the king want now? Wants another 3 mail shirts. We should make some steel. Yeah, we do seem to have a bit of a problem with people now descending into the drains to collect things because it's so dry down there. But we've got grates all over all of the places where you could fall into something that will drown you, so we should actually not lose many people to the drains. You're led to believe that the mayor has 3 crowns and a hat. Let's have a look. Does the mayor now have 3 crowns and a hat? He's reading a book. That's good. Yes, the mayor is indeed wearing 3 crowns and a jagged cap on the same head, and a cave spider silk hood as well. Right, so we haven't yet successfully got that last baby corpse out. Maybe we should temporarily close things so that we can safely extract it. Because that will be a nice thing to have achieved, won't it? So close that drain interconnector briefly. What, meanwhile, do we need for rollers? So we're going to want to connect them up here. So that one wants to go east. Copper chain will then do one here that similarly wants to go east. And then the last one, because we really don't have any mechanisms, will go west from there. So that gear assembly at least is running and is properly powered and is all happy. Booze situation's looking a little worrying. Are we yet able to actually make mead? We do have an excess of... maybe I should just try hitting the dump button. No, we do actually have some royal jelly scheduled for dumping, and you'll observe that it's just staying where it is. Oh, that's because that's in a hive, though. Let's just try a quick experiment with this. We do have some honey around. Why is that honey forbidden? Unforbid the honey. We might be able to turn it into mead. Let's just try saying dump all the royal jelly and see what happens. Surely we should be able to observe a phenomenal number of dump item jobs turning up now, if it's possible to dump it. Oh dear. Vukar Sirabzephon has risen and is haunting the fortress. I wasn't aware you were dead. We don't appear to have any dump item jobs for that royal jelly. Right, let's find out what's going on with Vukar Sirabefon, whatever their name was. So you don't seem to be able to search for their corpse. Well, let's ask to engrave the memorial slab then. They're not the one whose skeleton has somehow ended up not being buried. They don't seem to have a tomb assigned. Where have they gone? Like, we have a bunch of dead bodies here that still need to be buried, but we've like memorialised all those. Just wondering if I should make like an escape staircase at this end as well. Right, so it should now be possible to permit that door and thus allow someone to recover that dead baby and put it in the correct location. And like, this area is now reasonably safe water in terms of water levels. This area is reasonably safe. We're still running the pumps. It's probably safe now for us to shut the pumps down if we wanted to. Oh, okay, we appear to be short of slabs now. Right. Make rock slabs. Right, we've now run out of silk cloth. Looks like. Apparently need some more bags. That's a bit worrying. Well, let's make some more bags then. Yeah, these are actually second-hand clothes. I was slightly worried, but wondering whether the whether the reason we're not accumulating clothes in the new clothes stockpile is because we're accumulating them in the wrong place, but I don't think we are. That wants to run westwards. Suppose it's fine to have decorated chains down here. people will probably get to see them, I'm not sure. Possibly I need to cancel the odd smooth walls tasks that are lurking around down here. There doesn't seem to be very much leakage there. Right, someone has cleared out the dead child. Let's forbid that door again and open the floodgate, not floodgate, floor hatch. So marking the royal jelly for dumping has achieved nothing. It's still all there, well, at least some of it occupying jugs. Probably not all of it occupying jugs, but what happens if we ask to melt down the jug that contains some royal jelly? If we view, oh, that's a porcelain jug. We can't melt a porcelain jug. Try again, Harris. Second piece of royal jelly on the list. That's in a hive. Third one is in a hive. Fourth one is in a billen jug. Right. Let us mark that billen jug for melting and watch it. Right. Someone will have to schedule the job and there'll be a bit of faff. I think that an automatic melt item job will be scheduled, if I've got this right. We're actually going to go and... Oh no, we are still following it, yes. I think I may want to go and check whether the task has actually been scheduled. Melt a metal object. There is definitely a melt a metal object task there, but no one has yet claimed it, partly because the smelter is busy smelting native platinum. Well, let's continue building rollers then, if we've got enough mechanisms for it. No, we haven't. So you're carrying a billen jug and, oh, you're going to collect hive products. Right, I'm going to watch you then and check that you do actually successfully collect some hive products. So you did something. I'm like going, well, what happened to the jug that you had? It's kind of weird. So which hive are you trying to install things into? So you just refilled that one, which looks correct, yes. Anyone melting a thing yet? No. Anyone collecting hive products yet? No. How tedious. Right, well, we appear to have conveniently reached the point where we've now mostly got the old drains empty of water, except for this western section that's still running through the pumps. But thus, if we need to drain anything else, we can. All right, we're now actually smoothing some of this so that it won't leak quite so much, because it's accessible now. We've mostly built the new section extension of the minecart track, but we haven't got enough materials to finish the rollers yet. We're still trying to understand what on earth is going on with things. Let's sort out that slab, yes. Who was the ghost? Vukar Sirab-Zephon. Yes, we will sort that out before we go to bed. No, I have to actually click on slab first. What? No, that was definitely the wrong sequence of keys. Try again. And let's just cancel making another slab because we've got at least one that we can process, I think. So someone is meant to be making that slab. Still not actually attempting to melt that. Here's my engraver coming to engrave a memorial. Still not actually got round to trying to melt that jug though. Right, slab has been engraved. Okay, I did actually have plenty of... Oh no, of course I just made 10 of them, didn't I? I was going to say I did have plenty of slabs, but no. Now let's get the slab erected and then I can read the memorial and then we can go to bed. It will be very embarrassing if I build one of these rollers backwards, because then minecarts will just go back and forth between the rollers. Yes, but we can't leave a ghost haunting the fortress. That would be terrible. Right, here is the dwarf who is coming to build the erect the slab. May take them a little while to get downstairs. Oh, they seem to be quite strong. Good. So they are taking a very odd route. Right, they've constructed the slab and are now quite appropriately meditating on death. This is an exceptional siltstone memorial to Aloth. What? That's not the right one. It was a Vukar thingamy. I think I've just erected the wrong memorial. Right, well, let's erect another memorial then. Apparently I found a spare memorial lying around. I should probably read it, shouldn't I? Even if it is the wrong person. In memory of Aloth Kulet Lanlar, born 99, drowned in the year 106. Probably we've already recovered their corpse because they haven't been haunting us. Right, is someone melting that jug now, do you think? Right, so here is someone hauling the bill and jug. The bill and jug in question is currently full of royal jelly. Here you can see the jug being hauled. They're going to take it downstairs and melt it down and see what happens to the royal jelly. So probably I should be following the royal jelly. Right, they go and get some coal. They are now melting. Might take a while. They might not be very good at this. Oh, there's an alert. All right, we'll go off and read his. We've now erected the correct memorial, but now I want to know what happens to this jug of royal jelly. taking quite a lot of melting. Come along, melt the thing. No, but I want to keep watching the object actually, because oh, right. So now it has been melted and there is some loose royal jelly kicking around in the smelter. So one way we can deal with the too many jugs situation, with the too many jugs of royal jelly situation, is if we can't conveniently sell the jugs, we can just melt them down. Now, that's not very good because we don't end up with very much spare it won't get very much billion back, but still, it might be a convenient way to get the damn stuff out of the way. Okay, this is a well-crafted sandstone memorial to Vukar Sirab-Zephon. The slab reads, in memory of Vukar Sirab-Zephon, born 38, went missing in the year 106, admirer of pebbles. So all we know is he went missing. We know he's dead because he haunted us. But we don't know where. And he liked pebbles, yes. Oh, we should flag those new bedrooms as bedrooms, shouldn't we? While I remember. There we go. Right, well, we don't quite know why Vukar died, or how, or where. Because no one has apparently no one has found his body. But the memorial is adequate because it mentions the name and that he liked pebbles, or she liked pebbles, which is probably all we need. So I think that's enough for tonight. We will try to finish off this extra long minecart roller coaster and try to think about a way that we might be able to get the spare minecarts out of it when things go wrong. Still don't know about that. Maybe we could just have a system that has great big drains that can dump all the water in there into the caverns really quickly. Probably not. But yes, that will be for next time. We'll also want to try to get those human skeletons out, try to get the dwarf skeletons out of the sea and maybe the dead kittens as well. And drain more of the river because there's still some more dead dwarves in the river. But all of that will be on Sunday, and for now I will say save to this timeline and good night.